This training tool is called a Mamba. It's very unique in that it will enable the golfer to really feel what it feels like to athletically load and unload the body. This part of the handle is stiff. That's the part where you will always hold it. This part is flexible. You will never hold it on the flexible part, but this flexing creates an action that will really enable you to feel your body loading and unloading. The rope is 50 feet long, but you will actually only stand about 20 to 22 feet from the point where the far end of the rope is anchored. You're going to see a series of drills that we do with this that start with small movements and lead up to very large, powerful movements. So this tool requires a lot of strength, and you will build strength as you keep training with it, and you'll learn again to load and unload your body very athletically. Let's take a look at how to set up the Mamba training tool. The rope is 50 feet long. I'm only going to stand about 22 feet from the point where the far end is anchored. You'll always anchor the far end of these long rope tools. So I'm facing straight on to the anchor point, which should be a dumbbell or kettlebell at least 25 pounds, even as heavy as 60 pounds, or some kind of immovable object like a pole or a stake in the ground. So what I want to do from this point where I'm facing that anchor point is take 2 big steps to my right, and then I'm going to orient my body a little bit to my left, maybe an eighth or a quarter of a body turn, so that when I propel the rope, it travels a little bit away from the anchor point. So again, I'll start off by standing straight in front at a distance of about 22 feet, 2 steps to my right, and then I'm going to orient my body very slightly away. Now, the stronger the golfer, the closer they can stand. So if I'm an extremely strong golfer, I can move in as close as even 15 feet. If I'm a smaller, not as strong, younger, maybe a kid or smaller women, I want to move away a little bit, perhaps even as far as 25 to 26 feet. I would consider 22 feet to be the average distance. The first drill with the Mamba is an introductory drill. We call it rib rotations, and it's a smaller, quieter move, but we're just trying to establish how you use your body as the nucleus of your swing. So Michael's going to place the butt end of that handle at the bottom of his sternum. And he'll come a little closer to show you that. All right, so you see where that blue knot is at the bottom of his sternum, and so it's actually lightly touching him. And then he extends his arms so his hands and fingers are approximately halfway down the handle. All right, so what he's going to do is just make a small back and forth move, driving the entire motion with his ribs. So you can see his hands and his wrists are very passive, and it's a quiet move, but it's perfectly sequenced, and it serves as the nucleus of your swing. So we're going to have him quiet that down even more to even a smaller move. This is how you can start. So again, that serves a great purpose of letting you know how you're going to use your body and not your hands and your wrists to drive this entire move without having to think about anything technical. Okay, the next drill is called rib rotations holding the handle. So instead of the butt end of the handle touching his body, touching his sternum, now he's holding it like he would normally hold a golf club, or you have the option of holding it like a baseball bat. Either way will work. All right, here's the move, rib rotations holding the handle. It's the same move. It's very quiet. It's beautifully sequenced. You don't have to think about anything technical because you're getting a lot of feedback from the rope. And you can see how the rope is just projected out in front, kind of in a quiet way at the moment. As we ramp up the drills, the rope's going to travel further. So again, that is rib rotations holding the handle. Now we're going to expand this a little bit. We're going to put a little more energy into it. and we're going to expand the range in which he's moving and the distance the rope will fly. This is called 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock swings. So, small move to start with, and now he's going to start expanding his strength and his energy out in front and make that rope fly further and further. You can see that his arms basically travel from what we might call a 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock position on the face of a clock. We'll have him do about 5 more so you can get a good impression of how far that rope is flying, even though he's not trying hard to fling it. He's just using the efficiency of his move, and it propels it out a good distance. So that's called 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock swings. Now we're going to expand that one more time. We're going to go to 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock, and we're going to have him put even more energy out in front. So we're going to have his arms go a little bit higher now, especially on the follow through. You can see how efficient that is, and that is a very key movement in Mach 3 training. So we went from rib rotations with the handle in the sternum, to rib rotations holding the handle, to a 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock swing, and now to what we would call 10 to 2. All right, great. Now, let's talk just for a second about how you position your body in relation to where this rope is anchored. If Mike moves a step to his left, right now he's straight across from where the rope is anchored. Now before he begins the exercise, he's going to take 2 steps to the right. And that puts him about where we're going to want him, 1 to 2 steps to the right. And now he's going to angle himself very slightly away from the camera and away from where the rope is anchored. And that's pretty much where your positioning is going to be. So again, you'll start off straight across from the anchor of the rope, and then you'll move 1 to 2 steps to the right. All right, now all this has been leading up, and we're going to move him just a step to his left to get a better camera angle. This has been leading up to the king of all Mamba exercises, and it's called load, hold, and fire. It starts with Michael pointing at the target. That's the start of the motion. Now he's going to use his ribs. He's going to drag that rope back powerfully and wide. Now you can see the rope is way far away from him there. Now he goes back to the target using his ribs. Okay, so watch it again. He's pointing at the target. He drags back powerfully. Very athletic position right there. He counts to 3 and he fires. And when I say fire, I mean you use your ribs, not your hands. Okay, so let's have him do 3 more. And what I want you to notice is how athletic his position is at the top of what you would call the backswing. Now we don't teach the backswing, we don't analyze the backswing, we don't break the swing down into parts. But what he's doing is he's rehearsing a very athletic way of loading his body. All right, I'm going to have him do it poorly, and he's a very good player, so it's difficult for him to do it poorly. But I want him to do a narrow, flimsy, weak backswing move. Okay, look where the rope is. It's right on top of him. From there, there's nothing he can do. He's going to just cast it straight down into the floor. But now if he does it properly again, watch the width, which is created by his ribs. Look at the athleticism, and notice how quiet the rope is as it travels. Because now he's using his ribs to get his strength out in front, so he's not casting that rope straight down into the floor like he did when his backswing was narrow and weak and flimsy. All right, so that's the key to the Mamba is, and you know, this is for training purposes, use your ribs. We could name the muscles that you're using, but then 95% of people wouldn't know what we're talking about. So we say ribs, everybody can identify with that. When you're actually playing golf and swinging and hitting, you don't necessarily think about that, but it's the way we train so that the body is really producing a center of power in the swing. So those are the basic drills with a Mamba. It's a very unique tool. And if Michael moves a little closer, we'll show you. He's holding the stiff part of the handle. So that has a textured grip on it. He's holding the stiff part right there. Then the far end flexes. You never hold the flexible part. You always hold the stiff part. And the nature of how that handle flexes is what creates all the feedback for you to sense how to use your body to load and unload and to use it very efficiently so that the rope flies beautifully out in front without you really appearing to be trying very hard. So if you are adept at this, it's an effortless feeling and very athletic, and the rope will fly a lot further than you think just because of the efficiency of your body movement.